After 46 years in deep space, Voyager 1 has done something entirely unexpected. The aging spacecraft, long thought to be a fading relic of human exploration, abruptly altered its course. Even more puzzling, it began transmitting data back to Earth that had clearly been changed, its content and structure noticeably different from previous signals. And then came a revelation that startled mission scientists. The signal contained echoes of a message remarkably similar to the one we originally sent out with the probe nearly 5 decades ago. Quiet discussions began circulating among the scientific community. Perhaps Voyager 1 wasn't simply drifting through the void. Perhaps it had been noticed. The question now isn't just about malfunction or anomaly. It's about intent. Was this a form of contact, a test, or something even stranger? And if Voyager is no longer alone, what does that mean for our understanding of space itself? Voyager 1, launched in 1977, was never expected to draw public attention again. For nearly 50 years, it's traveled further than any other human-made object, slowly fading as its power diminished and its systems degraded. Most scientists believed its final days would be marked by silence, emitting only weak telemetry from unimaginable distances. It had become more a monument to past exploration than an active mission, a solitary relic, silently adrift in space. But then something changed. The shift was subtle, easy to miss. Without receiving any command from Earth and without any scheduled update, Voyager altered its trajectory. This was not a system error or a failure. It was a purposeful correction, something resembling a decision. This action, occurring without any human input, deeply unsettled some at NASA. Voyager's power reserves are critically low. Its thrusters haven't been fired in years. It wasn't designed to maneuver spontaneously. Yet telemetry confirmed a deliberate change in its orientation. The spacecraft had realigned itself toward a section of space devoid of stars, gravitational signatures, or any known celestial object. To Earth's instruments, this part of the sky appears empty. Yet Voyager faced it directly, as if it had found a target. Even more unusual, this maneuver did not happen in isolation. In the days leading up to the course change, Voyager recorded a faint sound using its plasma wave sensors, a low-frequency hum distinct and unexpected. For scientists monitoring the mission, this was unlike anything encountered in the probe's decades of operation. The sound appeared to carry structure. It had rhythm, timing, and perhaps even meaning. If it was a message, it wasn't intended for Earth. It may have been meant for Voyager itself. In the vacuum of space, nothing moves without cause. Every motion must be accounted for by gravity, propulsion, or command. But Voyager's realignment didn't conform to any of these. It wasn't triggered by Earth. It didn't react to a gravitational body, and no commands were sent. The thrusters engaged autonomously, despite having been dormant for years. Engineers scoured system logs, searching for anomalies or pre-programmed commands. They found none. It was as if a parked car had turned itself 15 degrees overnight, without ignition, without keys. This was not random drift. It was controlled, precise, and unsettling. Voyager wasn't facing anything we recognize, not a star, a galaxy, or any object listed in astronomical databases. One astronomer remarked, "It's like it turned to look at the darkness itself," and it all traced back to that hum, a structured, mathematically patterned tone embedded in background plasma noise. It wasn't static. It wasn't natural. It had deliberate timing, resembling prime number intervals and intentional gaps, more like a code than a signal. It may have been the very thing that prompted Voyager's change. We just don't know what it was, a lead mission analyst admitted. When researchers amplified the hum, they found it pulsed across a range of frequencies in ways no known cosmic phenomenon should. It didn't match solar activity or the emissions of black holes or pulsars. It had a pattern, one that defied natural classification, and it didn't appear to originate from Earth. More disturbingly, it seemed designed to be recorded, not interpreted. It was like a log meant to be stored within Voyager. This raised deeper questions. What if Voyager wasn't merely listening, but was being listened to? If it had been passive all this time, perhaps now it had become a node, part of a larger system, a receiver, or even a relay. Because after receiving the hum, Voyager turned, and after turning, its data transmissions changed. What it sent back wasn't normal data. The signals were altered, perhaps even encoded. Initially dismissed as hardware degradation, the distortions quickly proved too regular, too clean. They weren't errors, they were modulated patterns, repeated sequences embedded within the signal, resembling binary code. Logic structures appeared. Pulse intervals showed harmonic resonance. It was no longer clear whether Voyager was simply malfunctioning. It was as if something had modified the message during transmission. These changes didn't originate from Earth, nor from Voyager's internal software. The probe may have passed through a field, an unseen force that restructured its signal. One technician whispered during a review, "It's like it's talking back, but not to us." If this was interaction, then something had responded. When Voyager was launched, it carried the golden record, a gold-plated copper disc containing greetings in multiple languages, music, and scientific diagrams. It was intended as a time capsule, a symbolic gesture. Carl Sagan, one of its architects, described it as a bottle cast into the cosmic ocean. The record included a map of Earth's location, using pulsar positions and timing as coordinates. If any intelligent life intercepted it and understood the diagrams, they would know where we are. Now, with Voyager responding to something unknown, the golden record is being reconsidered. It might not have just been a message. It may have been a trigger. The directions it contains could have functioned like a beacon, leading something or someone back to us. And now that response may be playing out. What's more, researchers noticed a disturbing detail. Voyager's new transmissions were mirroring its past ones. Not perfectly, but close enough to suggest a feedback loop. The modified data wasn't just distorted. It was reactive. Some analysts described it as harmonic feedback, a signal structure used in advanced encryption systems. It suggested that Voyager had become part of a live exchange, an open channel. Input was being received. Output was returning. These echoes weren't loud, but they were consistent. And in science, consistency means intention. That raised the unsettling possibility that Voyager had joined a dialogue, one we never expected. But who was on the other end? Inside NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, tension grew. Routine mission updates turned into urgent meetings. Data once dismissed as anomalies was now being studied for patterns of communication. Engineers began mapping timelines, the hum, the turn, the data distortion, and everything aligned too, precisely to be ignored. Some clung to natural explanations, a long-delayed software bug, radiation damage, or interference. Others quietly suggested what few dared say aloud. This might not be a malfunction. It could be an encounter. Outside JPL, information began to leak. Online forums lit up with speculation. Universities submitted requests for raw signal data. And then came the chilling question. What if this was the reply to the golden record? As interpretations grew more speculative, so did the theories. Some scientists proposed that Voyager had passed through a dark matter field, an invisible structure that exerts gravitational force but emits no light. Others suspected localized space-time distortions, ripples in the fabric of the universe, possibly created by ancient black holes. But one theory caused real discomfort. Pattern recognition software detected elements in Voyager's altered signal that bore resemblance to the Arecibo message, the 1974 binary-coded transmission humanity sent into deep space. It wasn't a perfect match, but it was statistically significant. Suddenly, what had been considered history was now evidence. Had something been listening all this time? Voyager's new orientation pointed not to any known object, but to an utterly blank portion of the sky. No stars, no nebulae, no visible phenomena, not even in the infrared or gamma-ray spectrum. One mission scientist noted, "It's like Voyager knows something we don't." Its camera, offline since it captured the famous pale blue dot, was now aimed toward a direction devoid of anything visible. The shift wasn't gradual. It happened within a tight time window, almost as if Voyager had reacted in real time, perhaps even to a direct prompt. But if the prompt didn't come from Earth, where did it come from? The most disquieting detail. Voyager's signals began to echo themselves, not exactly, but in ways that revealed clear feedback. The distortions carried structure, refinements of prior messages, now mirrored with alterations. It wasn't just noise, it was engagement. Voyager seemed to be a part of a responsive system. At this point, the term contact, once avoided, became harder to dismiss. Voyager wasn't drifting, it was acting. The hum, the reorientation, the mirrored data all suggested interaction. Scientists split into two camps. Some insisted Voyager had encountered a rare natural event, but others, studying the symmetry and geometric ratios in the signal, argued that only intention could explain such precise encoding. Machines don't create patterns like this. Intelligence does. So why hasn't NASA addressed it publicly? As soon as the structured data was confirmed, policies shifted.